Hello and welcome to the Literary Lair and to the penultimate week of Alan Alda Month.
This diversified, curious, fascinating, bountiful, beautiful, beautiful world I love.
So, during the first week, I took special mention to the story that Alan told about the movie he was in that shot in an actual state prison. Why did I take special mention to that? Well, that movie was titled The Glass House, and it was the first non-MASH thing that I ever saw with Alan Alda in it, and so it holds a special place for me. However, I only ever watched it once, but for the life of me, I can't remember why. Anyway, I'm sure you're wondering why I'm talking about a movie on the Literary Lair. And that's for two reasons. The first being that I can barely find any information about this movie, aside from stuff that cites Alan's autobiography, so there's no development woes or anything to talk about, and the movie isn't that bad, so it can't be on How to Fix It. I also want to do a full review of it, as opposed to a basic overview, and I'm not making a third scripted show to talk about one movie. So, let's see how a movie filmed in an actual state prison, with actual prisoners as extras, turned out. The movie is about Jonathan Page, played by Alan Alda, a college professor who accidentally murdered the man who ran over his wife in a fit of blind rage, and was convicted for manslaughter and sentenced for a year in prison. He's being moved to the same prison that Brian Cortland, played by Clu Gulager, is about to start working as a guard at. Page gets to his cell and spends his first night in prison, finding it hard to sleep. Who am I? 13551. It doesn't quite have the same ring to it. The next day, Page starts to get indoctrinated in the workings of the prison, as does Cortland. When Page goes to lunch the next day, he's introduced to the man who runs the prison. Rousdower?
What's your name, laddie?
Troy McGregor.
I'm Rousdower. Zap Rousdower.
Actually, that's Hugo Slocum, played by the late Vic Morrow, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop making Rousdower jokes. Page gets a job in the pharmacy working for Lennox, played by Billy D. Williams. I guess Arkham didn't work out for Harvey Dent. And if you thought I was gonna go for the low-hanging Lando Calrissian joke, you don't know me very well. Page replaces a guy who was doing illicit stuff for Hugo, and Hugo warns Page to do the same. Page refuses to do what he wants, which gets him on Lennox's good side, but on Hugo's bad side. Though Lennox warns Page that refusing to work with Hugo could get him in trouble.
You know what you're doing, man?
Yeah, I think so. You know what I'm not gonna do?
That thing you did with Ajax sure took a lot of style. I'm gonna tell you something. It's not gonna end there. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to answer to some people.
Later, Cortland gets a lecture from another guard about what to do, and this is cool, the other guard is played by G. Wood, who played
Brigadier General Hammond, Chief Medical Officer of the Soul Sector,
in Robert Altman's MASH, and would later go on to reprise that role on the television series for 3 episodes. Talk about serendipity. Page goes through prison life while dealing with Hugo's actions, which impact the young man, Alan, that Page took a liking to and wants to protect from Hugo's bullshit. Paige confronts Hugo, who tells him that if he wants to keep the kids safe, he has to do what Hugo says, or else. Cortland goes to the warden, as with his observations, he thinks that Hugo is going to do something bad to Paige, but the warden doesn't care. Because of the beef with Paige, Hugo starts going after anyone who sat near him for too long, and then, to send a message to Paige, sends a few guys to rape Alan, leading to Alan committing suicide as a result. Paige gets some information from a fellow prisoner, Hugo's accountant, about a book with all the corruption that Hugo and even some of the guards are involved with listed inside it. The guy, one of the ones that Hugo already went after for associating with Paige, gives him the book with the list because he's already a dead man and wants Paige to get the book into the right hands. Paige tries to get help from Lennox to get the book to the outside, but Lennox suggests that if he wants to get Hugo, he's gotta kill him. Later on, the accountant gets shanked in the prison yard, and Lennox says that if he's gonna do something to Hugo, he's gotta work fast. The prisoners raid the dead man's cell for his stuff, and Paige returns to his cell to prepare for his plan to take down Hugo. However, the guards on Hugo's payroll open the cells to allow Hugo to go after Paige, but Paige uses the opportunity to escape from Hugo. This leads to a full-on prison riot that has all the prisoners attempting to kill Paige, who tries to escape them. Lennox passes him a shiv, and when Hugo attacks him, Paige stabs him and rushes outside, trying to flag down Cortland, who was sent to quell the riot, but Cortland sees a prisoner running at him and fires his weapon. What? No! No! This can't happen! You just don't kill Alan Alda! No, you can't do that! I can't finish this video. I'm out. What's up? They killed Alan Alda's character in Glass House. And? They killed Alan Alda's character in Glass House. I mean, he was only supposed to be there for a year. He had a family. That was the point, right? Huh? Were we watching the same movie? Wasn't that the whole message? What do you mean? The prison system of the time was corrupt. I mean, it might still be corrupt now, but specifically when the movie was made, it was building off of the prison system of the time. Inefficient wardens, corrupt guards, and sometimes good people get tangled up in the wrong stuff. The entire message of the movie was showing how Paige, a good man, ended up dying trying to do the right thing, and that at the end he's dead and nothing will change. That's not true. There is a silver lining. The silver lining is that Cortland gets the book and even threatens the corrupt guard that tries to take the book and submits it with his report. Cortland, another good man, is going to try to change the system and... Oh. I just got it. I'll be right back. Anyway, the movie ends with Cortland going to the warden, who doesn't seem to care about Paige's death, but Cortland is broken up about it, sorry that he had to kill Paige, since he shot in self-defense expecting a riot. The warden also plans to cover up Paige's death, calling it a race riot when Cortland knows otherwise, and the warden claims to know nothing about Hugo's book. When he protests, the warden tells him that it's just how the system works, but Cortland refuses to believe that and promises to tell his story, even if there's no one else to back it up, walking out of the prison in silence as the credits roll, like Bruce Banner. And that was The Glass House. Was it good? Well, it's okay. The editing is erratic at points, and it ends on a real downer note, although I'll admit, that's the point. Alan Alda's acting is great, and Vic Morrow playing Rousdower's convict cousin does a really good job. He does come off as fearful during the film. Clu Gulager does okay, although he's not in the movie enough for me to really have an opinion on his acting. The other actors are fine, although you can't blame a lot of the extras since they were played by actual prisoners. The movie is essentially Orange is the New Black with an all-male cast, so if you ever wished for that, this is the movie for you. The first 20 minutes of the movie are excruciatingly slow, as they show every part of Paige getting booked and going to his cell, going over every minute detail. Other than that, the movie is fine, and while I'm not too keen on Paige dying since I hate downer endings, I understand why they did it. Alan puts in a great performance, like he always does, and if you're an Alan Alda fan, it's a must-see. I mean, it has Alan Alda, Billy D. Williams, and Vic Morrow. The movie has a lot of big names, and they all put in good performances. I recommend it if you like prison movies or any of the actors that are in the movie. Anyway, that's all the time we have for today. If you'd like to see more of the Literary Lair, you can hit that subscribe button. And if you have any comments or complaints about the video, you can put those in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, show it to your friends and share it around the internet. And maybe consider supporting the show on Patreon. See you next time for a special video in commemoration of Alan Alda's 80th birthday. Who am I? No. I am tone deaf. I don't know why I try to sing on this show. If you ever wonder why I do spoken word most of the time, this is why.